Hey, my name's Anthony.
My name's Alex.
And we are
The PTA Podcast.
Well, what's happening, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the PTA Podcast. Before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe to us on YouTube or Spotify. Thank you.
Yep.
Hey, mate.
Anthony Cassis.
Alexander Cassis.
What's happening, brother?
How you going?
Look, today's a very special episode. And the reason why it is a very special episode, if you look at NRL.com and you look at the live ladder, you can see right now that the Tigers are in second place, cars. Second place on the ladder. I don't care if anyone says to me it's only 5 rounds. We're second place. Let me have it.
Enjoy it, because the dogs.
It was good. It was good.
The dogs aren't doing anything glorious this year.
It was a good Easter long weekend. Easter was amazing and beautiful as usual, with our church and everything that we do with our faith.
Did you read the stat? I think I did. I don't know if I shared it with you. We've reached.
I think you told me it was a very high number.
1.422 billion.
1.422 billion
Catholics.
Wow.
Highest
Worldwide?
ever recorded.
Worldwide.
Yeah, and obviously worldwide.
Or just in Sydney? No,
Highest ever recorded
That's
in the
huge.
history of in 2,000 years.
That's mad. That's mad. God's good. That
amazing.
is that's a massive number.
What do you think that is? Is it young people coming through?
Gen Z
Yeah.
has shown, and this is based on research, like studies, and like stats and whatnot. Gen Z has been shown to have the highest amount of any generation that have come back to church, that actually want to go to church, whether it be not just Catholic church but just Christianity in general.
Gen Zers.
Yeah.
Quick question.
yeah.
Gen Z is?
That is millennials.
Yeah, I think it's the. Is it no? It's the 2000s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 2000s. Okay, so it's after me.
It is after you.
Yeah.
What am
You're
I?
not- I don't know. I still don't know with these X, Y, Z.
I don't know. I'm 95, brother. So
I think we sit in Gen Y. I think.
Yeah. I'm X, you guys are Y.
Yeah.
And then who gives a shit, right?
Yeah.
Young people.
Bro.
But yeah, they're even showcasing from like in the fitness world. They're the ones that are spending the most money.
Yeah.
Out of every single generation.
Yeah. They're the ones
on
that
their
actually
health and fitness, on their supplements,
Yeah.
on their run clubs, on their gym memberships, PT.
They did
Like drinking's going down.
Yeah,
Yes,
Like that's
everything.
right,
Yeah.
it's the way.
Yeah.
They did a
So-
study at the back end of last year to obviously do like a yearly stat of fitness goals and whatnot. And yeah, Gen Z was the ones that had spent the most amount of money within the fitness industry and are the ones that are actually prioritizing their health the most out of all the generations.
So this is why they say, like, with the way we would operate a gym, for example, you can't sit there and say Gen Z, they're just going to be time wasters, they don't want to spend. Stats are saying otherwise.
Well, we have Gen Z people in our gym that train harder than the adults in our gym, and they're like 14, 15, 16. It's one of them's even 9.
I think you see it politically as well, right? The world's changing. They want to fucking change it. So
And they're
Gen Zers
asking
are
more.
on the street.
Yeah, well, the problem with our generation and even yours is we didn't ask enough questions.
Absolutely. Anthony.
Right? I don't know what the term, but we'll get it back onto the podcast, guys. But we didn't ask enough questions. We didn't ask why enough. So the beautiful thing about Gen Z is this: they're asking why, but the beautiful thing about the asking of why is they're not closed off to the answer. They're asking why. They're now open to the answer, and they're opened to perspective.
They actually want to
which
know.
is actually the key to learning.
Yeah, they actually want to
Right?
be educated.
So when you have that approach to anything in life, you are going to get. You can make your own decisions irrespective of what you hear, but at least you're open.
Yeah.
It's those closed-minded people, and obviously every generation has them, but it's those closed-minded people that don't actually give you much. They don't contribute to society. They don't actually want to help. They just want to have their way and yell the loudest and scream the loudest and bang the loudest, like a child chucking a tantrum, but they're not actually providing anything with, like anything reasonable or logical in response to actually deem their opinion valid or
Opposing to that opinion without any
Right, and like-
solutions or
I know you guys can't see Ben behind the camera, but Ben and I have conversations about things all the time. And we don't necessarily agree on stuff. But the good thing about Ben and I is we're open to each other's opinions and interpretations of it because we're keen to see the other side of the answer and how it may affect somebody a different way, right? And like I love that because that's how, one, you form good friendships, but also two, how you actually are able to understand people. And it's not always a one way or the highway. And like without trying to be, you know, too religious and Bible bash and whatnot, Christians ask why a lot, right? The old school Christians were taught, do not question. You must listen and that's it, right? And what I mean by old school is like the Old Testament, right? Jesus Christ came, set the New Testament for us. And this is where the beautiful thing of changing the way we viewed everything. And Jesus flipped the script. That's why I got killed for it, because he flipped the script. He questioned. He gave different approaches to the same answer. And the people at the time, which were the old school people, and I'm not going to sit there and say names, everyone knows what I'm talking about, you weren't allowed to question. It was the law and it was the rule. And if you questioned, you were stoned to death for it, right? Look what happened to Jesus. He died the most cruel death that any person living on this earth in over 2,000 years has ever done or ever experienced, right? All because he questioned why, in a nutshell, right? So when we look at it from that perspective, I love asking why, because it gets an opportunity for me to learn. Right? I'll ask why to a Jew, I'll ask why to a Muslim, I'll ask why to an atheist, I'll ask why to fellow Christians from different denominations. I look at it as an opportunity to learn, right? I am set in my beliefs, but in my opinion, and I'm sure a lot of people would agree with this, it doesn't put me above other people. My beliefs don't put me above other people, my actions do. Right? And even then, it still doesn't put me above anybody else, right? But my actions will tell the world who I am and what I stand for and what I do, whether people can see me or not, right? So, going back to the whole Gen Z, they're the first generation in a long time to ask why. But then they're open to it. And this is why a lot of them wanted to go back to church, or why a lot of them want to look after themselves. A lot of them would have been in either abusive relationships, households that weren't friendly, fathers, mothers, alcohol, drug abuse, right? They would have experienced things in life that made them question, like, why does it have to happen to me like this? What can I do to potentially even change this? So I love it. Like, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Changing the script in that sense and wanting more out of life in a positive way, I'm all for it. And I applaud Gen Z all the time. And I tell people this all the time that have a go about Gen Z. It's like, you actually haven't looked at what the stats are saying.
Yeah,
they're actually
100%.
leading the way with a better way to live our life.
Yeah, well, what I found with Gen Z as well is that when it comes to health and fitness, they're actually very understanding of there's actually not an easy way out, so to speak. And they're very understanding of that it takes a bit of hard work to achieve the physique that you want. Now, I know for a fact that a lot of Gen Z gym goers are more so set in, they either want to get really strong or they want to build a really good physique. That's usually the two goals that they want to achieve, right? But they're very understanding that it takes hard work to achieve those two goals. Whereas my generation and Ben, your generation, are much more on the, I just want a quick fix, right?
You know why though? Because of the conditioning. Because of where it's come from.
Exactly right.
So where it's come from for Gen Z is probably the best place to come from, because it's the best piece of information I've seen in the 16 years I've been a part of this industry for.
Yeah. A lot more knowledge and education has come out
way
compared
more,
to when we were growing up. But if I knew, and if I'm sure Anthony will agree with me, if you knew what we know now,
yeah,
100%. But in context of the fitness industry, if we knew now if we knew, how do I say
then what we know now.
Yeah. Bro, I'd be the most jacked 31-year-old there is on the planet. Like,
not even that, we get 100 times more results back then for our clients.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
But yeah, no, like I'm really loving the positivity that's coming out of the Gen Z group in regards to, health and fitness, and that they really want to push themselves to be, the best they can be in the gym and whatnot. I love it. I see videos, and I'm talking all around the world, not just Australia, of 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds doing some amazing lifts and whatnot. The only thing I will say to the Gen Z people that are watching this podcast, just be very, very, very mindful of taking performance enhancements when you are so young. And the reason why I say that is because your body is still developing. I am no way against performance enhancements. I am on the side of, if you're going to do it properly, do it correctly. Right?
Speak to the right people. But if you're 15, 16, 17, even 18,
don't
touch it.
Yeah, I've seen too many young people either
it.
get sick, have long-term health issues, or unfortunately pass away from performance enhancement abusement at such a young age. And I'm talking, when I mean such a young age, I'm talking, like Ant said, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. To me, you shouldn't touch a performance enhancement until you're 30,
No.
right?
I'll disagree. Unless you're a competitive athlete at a fucking elite level, yes, you shouldn't touch PEDs till you're fucking 40 if you're a male.
Well, there you
Right?
go.
Because that's when that's when you actually need it. Right? A lot of the people are taking PEDs, but they're not even performing in any sport. They're doing it because
They just wanna
it's-
look good.
They want to look good, but
Or
it's going
get
to
really strong.
accelerate
Yeah.
the result, right? And I'm all for peptides, right? Guided by the right people. I'm all for peptides.
I'm all for steroids, again, guided by the right people as well.
Alex, the difference, and we both know this, the difference between peptides and steroids. People ask me, they're the same. No, they're not. They're very different.
Completely different can of
One will
worms.
fuck your body for years on end if you don't know how to get out of it properly and get your testosterone
And even just being on it properly as
regulation
well.
done properly. The other one will enhance what's already in your body. If you get off it, everything just goes back to the way it was prior to touching it. So there's no negative side effects per se, right? But when we look at testosterone, so any kind of anything that those exogenous drugs, they're not necessarily. I don't frown upon them, but I do frown upon the person that takes them if they're not doing it for what I believe, and this is my belief, a warranted reason. For doing it because they just
100%.
want to feel their ego and put on size because they're not patient, bro,
100%.
what are you doing?
100%,
But if they're
man.
doing it because they're going in the IFBB, or if they're competing and they're getting paid for it, or if they're a pro doing a pro card, like, all right, you're doing it because you're reaching a real high goal that actually requires you to do that because of the level that you're trying to get to, right? No judgment, never will be, right? But they know what they're doing because they're guided by the right people. There's a lot of investment in time, education, and money on these things.
And then on top of that, the quality of stuff they're getting as well.
That's what I mean.
Is very high quality. And right now, we're seeing a lot of people purchasing things either online or from someone's backyard. And
Fucking rich
they're
boy.
doing it because, it's cheap. It's like, well, quite frankly, if it was me, I would rather put something. If I'm going to put something in my system, I would want it to be of high quality.
Well, the way I think of it is like this. You can't get cheap and good quality in the same.
No way.
You can't. So when people ask, we're part of Facebook groups or different suburbs. Somebody put a post in today, I need a cheap but good quality window tinter. And I just commented, cheap and good quality do not work hand in hand.
Exactly right. You
And
can't.
everybody was like saying the same thing. I'm
Yeah.
like, bro, that is the dumbest question asked.
There's
It's
reasonably
like I'm asking
priced.
for a blind painter to paint my wall.
Yeah, there's reasonably priced, right? There's overpriced, reasonably priced, and then cheap, right?
But even those three things, are opinions.
Yeah,
They're not facts.
100%. And what I'm saying is that a lot of people, specifically in the peptide world right now, there are a shitload of peptides that are coming out of China.
Yeah, and they're
Right.
charging me like $5.
Bro,
It's like, how?
it is absolutely ridiculous when I see people think that they are getting a good quality peptide
Because it's cheap.
for very, very, very cheap. And it's like, do you know what you're injecting? You don't, right? Have you gotten it tested? You haven't, right? So in saying that, again, going back, Gen Z, I know there's a lot of stuff on social media. I know there's a lot of stuff that you may be new to or that you're not aware of, or you're trusting the person that you're speaking to. But please, I encourage you, do your own research, educate yourself, understand what you're doing before you do it, understand what you're taking before you take it. Don't just take someone's opinion in the gym or someone's opinion online as gospel. Do your own research, because there are a million peptides out there. There are so many different types of anabolic steroids. And at the end of the day, we can't stop anyone from doing anything. So if you are going to do something, just be smart with your approach and be logical with your approach so you don't cause yourself any long-term health damage at the end of the day.
Yeah. Good point. Good point. All right. On to the episode.
That wasn't the...
So we're gonna ask some just kind of real, I wouldn't call them deep questions, but they're just questions that get us to think a little bit differently. The first one is under the kind of topic of identity and self-reflection.
Yep.
So I'm gonna ask you the question, you'll answer it, and then
Yep.
I'll answer it as well.
Go for gold,
Okay?
brother. I'm in a good mood today.
What's something that you know you should change, but keep avoiding?
Ooh. What's something I know I should change but keep avoiding? That's a really good question. What's something I know I should change but keep avoiding? Actually, I got a really good one. What I do with my Sundays. What I mean by that is I get caught up in it's a Sunday, I just want to just switch off and not do anything at all. But I know that I should spend a couple hours in the morning, at the very minimum, just planning out my week. You know what I mean? Rather than coming on Monday morning and doing it. You know what I mean? There's some Sundays I do it. There's some Sundays I don't do it. I've not done it more than I've done it, if I'm going to be totally honest. And that's something that I've been working on with myself over the last month or so. Getting myself in that mindset of, just because it's a Sunday doesn't mean that it's a Sunday. Every day is a day and an opportunity to be able to make your week better.
I'm going to hit you with a line I got told, and it stuck with me for many years. Most people want to make more money, but people aren't willing to work on the weekends.
Yeah. You said that, you spoke about that back end of last year.
I work 7 days, right? People go, how do you maintain it? I look after my recovery. I get my 8 hours. Don't you worry about me. But I'm up at 5 o'clock every Sunday, right? From 5:30, I'm out at the front door. 6 o'clock, I get to my cafe. I go from 6 to 7:30, doing my new course that I'm finishing off. And then from 7:30 to 8:30, or even 7:30 to 8, is half an hour of let's plan the week. What are the goals? Let's go. So when Monday comes, I know.
You're fresh in the mind, ready to go.
Fresh in the mind. I got direction. I'm not foggy. I'm not trying to work it out on the fly. I know what I need to do, and I go for it. Right. That's what I do every Sunday. On Saturdays, I get here before you, right? And I'm up doing my course. Then I spend the next 2 hours after that period of time I've blocked out planning. Looking at, I'm not planning, so reflecting. So then when Sunday comes, I plan. Because I've done the reflection on Saturday. That reflecting and planning is really, really important, especially if you're a business owner or in a position of leadership within a business. Because how do you know what to work on? How do you know what's working? How do you know what you need to improve in?
100%.
Right? There's a reason why I've tripled down on sales, like being better at sales. There's a reason why I've introduced new things with me, you, and the team. Right? There's a reason for all that, and it's based on reflection.
Yeah.
Right? And the thing for me is when we do it like that, we're able to actually understand how to measure success. I'm talking from a KPIs target standpoint. Not the gym is busy, so we must be doing good. No. We're looking at success from a black and white standpoint. Are we hitting our targets? Are we reaching our KPIs? Are we doing our daily tasks, for example? Which feeds up to the targets, which feeds up to the KPIs, which should feed up to the targets. And then it's that simple. And then all we need to do is make sure that our day is able to be conducive of that success.
Yeah.
Simple as that, all right? But I love that you said that because it's nice that you've identified that. And
100%.
I'd recommend, don't get a bed till late on a Saturday. Get up earlier on a Sunday morning.
Well, it's funny that you say that.
Sacrifice goes a long way.
It's funny that you say that. Obviously, a lot of people know that my wife is also a business owner as well. So her mindset is of the same mindset as ours. And so what we've done is that we actually utilize Saturday night to plan for Sunday morning. And we've been going to bed not for a while now, not late, but the last month we've actually been getting up on a Sunday morning together, and both of us putting time aside to sit in front of our laptops, plan out what we need to plan out for our respective businesses for the week, and then that's that hour to 2 hours in the morning that we don't talk to each other, and then we start our Sunday together. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that
will change when the kid comes. So get out of house. Yeah, get out of the house.
Yeah, definitely.
Go up to the cafe and have a totally different scene. It's so much better for you.
Yeah,
your
definitely.
Creative mind takes over, right? Because when you're in an area that your brain associates with relaxing, it's hard to focus.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
So that's why I don't work from home. I refuse to work from home.
I actually don't know how people do work from home.
I hate it. I think it's the worst thing you can do for yourself. All right, so to answer the question for myself, I've changed a lot. Like so many things I need to change, I just bit the bullet and changed. But one other thing is probably not being fearful of asking the uncomfortable questions to certain people that I meet, and not being scared to, learn how to get better at that skill and master the art, so to speak, of communication. I put it off because I always get frustrated, mainly with myself. But I think getting better at that will allow me to really be able to communicate effectively, but get to the goal with that conversation with an individual, no
Yeah.
matter what context we're talking about.
Yeah.
I think it's something I should change, but I keep avoiding it because it's a lot of inner work.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's all based around fear
Yeah.
for me. All right, the next one. If your life stayed exactly the same for the next 5 years, would you be happy or would you be disappointed?
Disappointed.
One
I'd be
reason.
disappointed. I'd be disappointed because I know where I want my life to be in 5 years, and if it wasn't there, then I'd be disappointed. In terms of if I was in the exact same spot, because that means that I haven't done anything or changed anything or improved on anything, and that would piss me the fuck off.
I'd be disappointed as well. Not so much from a material point of view or money point of view, but from a personal growth point of view, because it's become really important to me to get better as a person.
I feel like the material and the money point of view it stems from the personal growth. I feel like in order to grow the materialistic things, right, which are essential to us surviving in this world.
Look, can I just point something out
Yeah.
quickly? I don't, when somebody wants a nice car, I don't go, oh, you're materialistic. I'm like, go, fucking get it, go. If that makes you
No,
happy, go.
100%, yeah, definitely.
I'll be the first half. You give me a
Definitely.
test drive
Yeah.
too. Right, if somebody wants to make X amount of money, go, do it.
Yeah.
Because what that money is going to help you do, most likely to look after your family.
100%.
Right? Go, enjoy it. Like, who am I to stop you or judge you? Look, without giving away too much of a podcast, that has never been an issue for me to make money. Right? I'm good at making money. Okay? It's a skill that I've developed, and it's a strategy that you get better at over time because you get less emotional with it over time.
Yeah.
And you just understand that money is just an energy transaction.
Yeah, that's literally
That's
all it is.
It doesn't. If somebody rejects my proposal, or if somebody doesn't want to sign up to the gym, I know it's not personal.
Yeah.
I used to get personal with it. Oh, they're fucking tight asses. They're not. You just fucked up with what you were presenting to them, and you didn't talk to what they actually needed.
Yeah.
So when I know it from that point of view, I don't get so emotionally invested. I just go, okay. Either I didn't do everything the way I was supposed to do it, or the right way, with the conversation that I had, or they're simply just not ready right now, which is not a big deal. Stay in the back of their mind, and when they're ready, they might call you.
Yeah, 100%.
This is why I do so much content. People go, how do you do so much content? Why are you so bothered? Because of the fact that when somebody's ready, they've seen my stuff and they pull the trigger on training with us.
Yep.
Does that make sense? That's because of that, right? I got given the best compliment yesterday. And this is like, again, just the reason why I keep posting twice a day, every day, irrespective of how I'm feeling. I saw your content and it spoke to me and resonated with me and spoke to me. And I really would love to know more about what you can do because everything you're talking about helping is what I'm suffering from. I had to look at your profile. Imagine if I just wasn't bothered. Imagine if the last post I did was 2 years ago. Because that was when I was bothered to do them. If the last 2 years I haven't been bothered. Right? Imagine how many opportunities just walk out the door. Imagine somebody's holding, all right? I'm throwing a big figure out there. This isn't what I earn per person. Somebody's holding 10 grand cash. And they're walking out the door saying, I'm going to give it to somebody else and not you. Imagine you saw that 10 times a day. How much would that upset you?
It burned the shit out of you.
That's 100 grand in one day
Yeah.
out the door potentially, right? That's what people want to earn in a year. I know people who are earning that in a fucking month.
Yeah. Literally.
Consecutively.
Yep.
As online coaches.
Yep.
Why? Because they understand that money is just energy. It's just back and forth.
Yeah.
Right? People hold on to money like it's their value point. It's not your value point. It's a tool to help you get from where you're at to where you want to be. And as soon as you understand that, and as soon as you understand that there's so much money in this world, and all you need to do is upskill yourself to know how to communicate with somebody else,
That's it.
you'll be fine. Right? So that skill itself is one of the things that I was so scared to do, purely because I didn't feel like I was worthy enough. And I'm like, how am I going to stand in front of a CEO who's older than me, earning more money than me, in a much higher position than me, right? In a big, multi-million dollar company, and talk to him about losing body fat. I'm this kid, right? But that wasn't the story that he was telling me. That was the story I was telling myself.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. So going back to what you said, this is where the personal growth can actually elevate you and build you up to be who you need to be in order to grow your financial position and the position your business is in, and so on and so forth.
Well, this is why I always teach you, Alex. When somebody comes to talk to us about training, they're up. They're like guarded because they feel like they're trying to be sold to.
Yeah.
What's our job?
Nothing, just show them.
Bring the shoulders down. Take away that
anxiety that comes with it.
Yeah, but also that, like, you know, that kind of resistance from them. Right? Get them just to talk about themselves and open up, bring the walls down, and then talk.
That's it.
Right? And then before you know it, the sale becomes a lot easier.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? Because I understand that we've listened to them, we treat them like a human first, and we go from there. But that's a skill.
Yeah, it is a skill.
Yeah, it is a skill. All right. What's a decision that you made?
I don't like when you smile like that.
This is a good one. What's a decision that you have made
Yep.
that still sits heavy with you today?
What's a decision that I have made that still sits heavy with me today?
As in that you've regretted.
That I've regretted.
But you can't change it. If it sits heavy with you, it's like you almost got that heavy heart about it.
This is a really good question.
You don't think much about stuff, do you?
Nah, just
Good, I'm glad, because my fucking brain has to stop.
I would say the one thing that I do regret in my life is turning to drugs to deal with my emotional problems. Because I'd have a lot more money in my bank account if I didn't spend it on drugs.
Oh, you and I both.
Yeah. But just from the person who I am today.
But
I do regret that because I should have lent on my faith and not on worldly things. And I lent on worldly things instead, being immature, being young.
should have lent on your brother.
That too. But yeah, I probably fried a few brain cells there, which obviously isn't going to help me in the future.
I think we fried them together.
But I do regret that patch in my life because instead of digging myself out, I dug my hole deeper.
Yeah, but sorry, you dug yourself out anyway.
Yeah, I did. It was just a lot harder. I made it hard for myself pretty much.
Habib, we're humans.
Yeah.
And the fact is, human nature, a lot of us need to go through to struggle to learn.
Yeah.
You learnt though, right?
Thank God I learned.
So I understand why it may help sit heavy on you. But, you know, people waste 10, 15, 20 years, bro.
Yeah, I know.
People lose houses, families, husbands, wives.
We've heard those
break
stories.
up, they lose their kids.
Yeah.
They lose their own lives.
Yeah.
We did it for 8 months, and
Yeah, that's it.
when they woke up, we were like, nah,
I'm not fucking doing this anymore, bro.
right? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
There's a lot, like, to give you a bit of, you know, perspective, right? But I can respect and understand why it sits heavy on
Yeah.
you, right? Mine's different, right? I used to hold on to that until I realized that and I'm going to talk a little bit about our faith and I'll come back to my reason. You know when we sin and we instantly regret it and we think, how did I do that? Can't believe I did that. Like, what is wrong with me? We're actually giving ourselves way too much credit. And what I mean by that is God knows straight away our nature while our DNA is developing in our mother's womb, right? Who do we think we are sitting there going, I'm ashamed, I'm embarrassed? We don't have, I believe, as Christians, that we shouldn't put ourselves on this pedestal and think to ourselves, we're better than what we're doing. No. Our actions will always resort back to what we think of ourselves. Right? If we hold ourselves to high accountability, we're going to act differently. But if deep down we don't hold ourselves to a high level of accountability, we're going to resort back to what we have looked at ourselves as.
That's a good point.
Right? Which it could be down here for some people. Could be the drugs, could be cheating on their spouse, could be gambling, could be whatever, right? Could be lying, stealing, whatever it might be. And then we get upset and we go to confession. We go, I can't believe I did that. Like, what's wrong with me? And then the priest is looking at me saying, you need to understand that it's in our nature to make mistakes like this. This is why certain sacraments in our Catholic faith are there, because God knew what was going on, and God knew what was going to happen, especially with the fall of Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
Right. So when we look at it from that perspective, I used to hold on to I can't believe I wasted all that money and time and energy and effort and brain cells lost because of drugs and partying, right, to escape. But then I came to realize that there's no point regretting it, right? Because if it's not that mistake we're going to make, there's going to be something else that we're going to make anyway.
Very true.
Right? So we need to understand that through compassion and mercy of God, and through the fact that we're able to have, like a snake shedding new skin, we're able to actually have that impact on our lives through the sacrament of reconciliation and confession. The ability for us to actually transform ourselves, it does not have to be this complex, long-term thing that we think it is, which is so beautiful. But at the same time, and I've fallen victim to this many times, I do the sin knowing it's wrong, right? It's okay, I'll go confession. It's fine. Oh, good, sorry. Don't worry. God will forgive me. That in itself is very dangerous because if we knowingly make a sin, it's actually one of the mortal sins. Right? If we knowingly do something that we know that is wrong, and we know it's wrong, and we don't care, we still do it, but we go, that's okay. God will forgive me. God loves me anyway. That's dangerous. You're stepping on dangerous territory.
Yeah.
Right? Because then you're actually starting to break away from the relationship with God that is the most important thing.
Yeah.
So for me, my regret and why I'm talking about this now is because I lost a lot of trust in myself and in what the plan God had for me because of the decision I made to come to this place. Because up until that point, I never really went through what I went through with business at all. And for all of my clients watching, we're not going anywhere. So stop stressing out my staff and asking them 1,000 questions about where we're going, are we moving. If you have a problem or if you have a question, ask me. I'm an open book. But when it comes to that kind of the decision, I used to think about it a lot, and even till now, why did I have to go through the last 3 years of complete mental torture? Why? And then I came to the realization this time last year, because that's when I shifted. I had to go through this because there's something greater coming for me at the end of it. And when you get tested, you can go one of two ways. Or, when you fail, I should say, or when you feel like you failed, you can go one of two ways with it. It's not failure, it's learning. Or I can't believe that happened to me. Or why did I make that decision? Why didn't I do X, Y, and Z before? I can't believe I did that. I failed. I messed up. I fucked up. And now I've let down everybody around me. I was the latter. I was thinking like that for a while. But that's when I saw no progress. The energy wasn't there in what I was doing. Clients noticed it. Staff noticed it. I noticed it. But I was just so down in the dumps about what the fuck happened over the last 3 years. And so fixated on what's everybody going to think of me. Then I realized whether I make $5 million in my business or whether I lose $5 million in my business, the people that are going to think good of me are going to keep thinking good of me. The people that are going to think bad of me are going to keep thinking bad of me. Either way.
Yeah.
So what really matters? Not either one. Because they're just going to be like that regardless. It's how I look at myself, how I hold myself, and whether I'm going to let regret pull me down, or let the lessons teach me and make me better. Teaching yourself, making yourself better is actually very challenging, because it requires a level of humbling yourself, removing the ego, and being open to copying some constructive criticism, which I've copped a lot of over the last 1.5 to 2 years from different people that I've purposely asked, knowing negative's coming my way. Or negative is coming my way. But I'm definitely, if something weighs heavy on my heart still, if I'm being completely honest, it's that decision to come here. And it's not the beauty, it's not the fact that I shouldn't do it, I didn't want a bigger gym. It's the fact of how it all happened. And I got excited and I trusted my landlord and I rushed the process. That's where it weighs heavy on my heart. Yeah. Because I guarantee you that, and everybody listening, that if I didn't rush the process, I would have found out all these little things in the building that weren't as good as they were made out to be, and I probably wouldn't have moved here. I would have maybe moved somewhere else. Yeah. Right? And been a lot more prosperous and not had this headache. But, as you said in one of our previous podcast episodes, I just keep reinventing myself. And I believe if we're going to call it anything, it's one of my superpowers, right? It's to be so innovative with what I do that if one way doesn't work, I'll find another way to make it work. Yeah. And if that way doesn't work for a period of time and it stops, I'll find another way to keep it going. And And people look at me like all the time saying, look, you're changing your mind about so many different things. It's like, yeah, because I'm thinking critically about it. I'm not thinking emotionally about it. If it doesn't work anymore, get out of my way. Close the book on that chapter and move on to the next one. So, I've changed, and the stuff always after me. They're like, oh, here we go, another idea of Anthony's. But then when it comes to fruition, they go, wow, how'd you do that? I said, because I believe in myself.
Yeah.
I really believe in myself. I believe that I was put on this earth to have good impact on people's lives, and I won't stop until my last breath.
Definitely.
Right? So for me, it does weigh heavy on my heart, but not because of anything anybody else did. It was because of the way I went about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you get what I mean?
I like that. Again, with the smile.
What lie have you told yourself for years that's holding you back?
What lie have I told myself? Say it again.
What lie
Yeah.
have you been telling yourself
Yeah.
that's been holding you back?
What lie have I been telling myself that's been holding me back?
You think?
You
I'll
go.
answer. The lie that I feel like I was telling myself that was holding me back was that the way the world is will determine how people look at spending money and what they do with their health and well-being. And I told myself that for a long time, and that's what really held me back, because it took away the responsibility. It took the ownership off me, and it's almost like I took it off me and put it onto the other person. Like, it's not my fault. It's them. It's not me. Really, it's me. Right? Because I get a single mom who's going through a divorce, still okay to spend the money that she spends with us because she sees it as a value to her. And I got another woman that drives 2 hours, so an hour to come to me, sometimes an hour and a half in traffic to come to me, spending more than people that drive 5 minutes to come to me, right? And she sees the value in it, right? So who is it? Is it them or is it me?
Yeah.
Right? It's always been me. And the beautiful thing about that is that it is always going to be me.
Yeah.
Because I can fix me. I can't fix other people. I can fix me and my mindset and the way I look at stuff and do stuff and think about stuff. So that lie that I was telling myself for many years was almost like it was keeping me safe. It was like taking the ownership off me, which made me feel better about myself.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to blame other people for everything, right?
I think mine would probably have to be the same. However, I figured that out with the project that I just did in Pico Sites.
Yeah.
Yes, I can point the finger at other people for the things that went wrong, that shouldn't have happened. However, if I was going to continuously tell myself that, then anything else that I do in business, with my health, with my personal life, with another project that I do, with any other business that we end up opening in the future, God willing, anything that we do, I'm always just going to use that same excuse. But what I ended up realizing was you have to take ownership at the end of the day for what happened, because when you do take the ownership, you learn how to not allow that same thing to happen again, right? And the ownership I needed to take was, even though I have only been in that industry for literally a second, my self-education, knowledge, and intuition was actually correct, even compared to people that have been in that industry for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. So back yourself.
Yeah, back yourself, but also understand that, there's certain things in that context with what you went through that I feel like you need to go through, right? Because, and the reason why I say that is because it taught you a lot about what to do to make sure that you can be able to really hit the targets and the goals that you really had for yourself. That's all, right? And that tough love mindset that I have with a lot of things, it's actually a better way to think about stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because if you don't have it like that, then you're just going to be upset, and then you're never going to
And
do
that's what I
anything,
mean.
and then you're going to keep having the same fights with the same people about the same things, and it just gets so exhausting.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. I could sit there and be like, oh, no, but it was their fault, and convince myself that it was everyone else's
Look, it
fault.
probably was their fault, because I know what you're talking about.
But
Probably
at
was
the
their fault.
But at the same time, I can actually
yeah.
sit there and go, you know what? That's on me, and I'm going to take ownership of that, and so I'm going to ensure that anything else
That's what it
moving
is,
forward
yeah.
doesn't happen again.
Exactly.
Or
Because if
I
you don't
stop
take
it from
ownership
happening.
of it, it's going to keep
whatever.
happening.
Exactly right.
All right, time for a little bit of a switch up. When things get hard, in any context, do you lean into it, or do you look for a way out?
No, you know what? I have to admit I lean into it, and I've always lent into the hard because that's what my early rugby league career taught me, that's what you have to do, right? And that's because if you want to achieve anything in life, you have to lean into the hard. You can't be scared of the uncomfortable.
Yeah, so I was a bit different. I lent into the hard stuff that I found easy, right? Like the rugby league, like the sports, like training hard, like, writing new nutrition plans. I lent into the stuff that was hard, but that I found easy, right? But I lent away from a lot of the stuff that was hard, that used to make me really uncomfortable and scare me to the point where, like, I don't know if I'm good at this. I don't know if I can do this. I had that for a long time.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I realized that I need to lean into all the hard stuff, or else I'm not going to move forward in my life at all. It was to that point that I made significantly, like, big progress in my career, irrespective of how strong or lean or jacked I was, right? And so for me, yeah, it was that pivotal moment for me was, do I make the cold calls? Do I send the text messages? Do I have these random phone calls with people that don't give a fuck about me, or I'm bothering them in their day? Or do I just leave it and I just send a text, I just play it safe? But playing it safe doesn't get you anywhere.
Doesn't.
Right? We've got 5 contests lined up for tomorrow, one day. Plus, I had one today, another one on Thursday.
And I had one today as well.
Yeah, so like, the old me would have played it safe and gone, you know what, it's all right. Just text him. If I don't reply, I'll text him again. I'll just keep texting him. No, get on the fucking phone.
Yeah.
Send him a video.
Send the video, exactly right, yeah.
Right?
I
And
think
the reason for that is because I have to get out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Because I know now more than ever in my life, and especially with how people are, holding on to money because they're scared shitless to let it go because they think petrol's going to go to fucking $5 a litre. They need to have a reason to have a conversation. I need to give them a reason to just even start a conversation because their shoulders are up and I feel like they're being sold to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I chat with them, when I eventually go on the phone with them and chat with them, it's like, just tell me about yourself.
Yeah.
Right. But that process used to get me very nervous and anxious.
Yeah.
So I play it safe. Yep. I took the box. I sent 20 text messages today. Yeah, I'm going to leave it.
Yeah.
There wasn't even any follow-up. Now there's the follow-up.
Yeah, exactly
Now
right.
I'm waiting for the Anth. Can you fuck off, bro? I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
And I feel like that comes back to what we said earlier, the personal growth.
Yeah.
I want to kind of strip my answer back a little bit as well. I do lean into the hard. There's some things that before I didn't lean into, but I think because I didn't have the knowledge of how to lean into it.
Yeah.
Right? But once we upskilled ourselves on that, obviously, with your business coach, what you've learned, you've taught me. I've sat in some of the sales stuff. You've taken me to the immersions and the workshops and whatnot. The more we've educated, upskilled, and grown ourselves as individuals, the more we're actually comfortable with leaning into the uncomfortable.
100%.
You know what I mean?
It excites me about the potential for growth that I can have in my life, irrespective of what's going on in the world. A lot of people make decisions on their life based on what's going on around them.
Yeah.
I don't. I make decisions on my life based on what I want to achieve. It took me a long time to get there, though. Right? There's a war going on that we have no control over. Why would I make my life change, right? And affect everything that I can control about me based on what's going on externally from me. There's always going to be a fucking problem in this world.
Yeah.
If it's not this war, there's another one. If it's not that one, it's this problem. Like, if you really want to look at all the problems in the world and focus on that, you're never going to go anywhere with your life.
100%.
Right? There's that many things, even before the war in Iran was happening, there's that many things that were going on, right, that we know about, right? Child sex trafficking, women's sex trafficking, child abuse, abuse of women, abuse of men, stabbings, there's fucking machetes all over in Melbourne. Like, there's everything that you can think of going on in the world. If you focus on that, you're never going to go anywhere.
Yeah, 100%.
Because you're going to make your decisions based on those things, or you're going to be a light of shining hope to those around you?
Yeah, definitely.
Which one do you want? And that's why it's a part of our mission statement. That line I just said is a part of our mission statement, not because it sounds nice and cool and fun. It's a part of our mission statement because it's a part of here for me. It's here. And now that Arthur's in my life, now more than ever, it's in here. Because I want to be a light of shining hope to my son. That irrespective of the craziness of the world, you can do what you put your mind to.
100%.
Right? All right, last question. Who is your greatest role model and why? Can you not take 5 years to answer, bro? Come on.
Nah.
Just say the first person that pops in your head. 3,
Jesus Christ.
2, 1. Okay, let me rephrase it because I can say that as well, and then we're just stuck. Who's the greatest person on the face of this earth that you know
Right now?
right now? That's
Nah,
who's
Dad.
the greatest role model?
Dad.
Dad?
Dad. I would say Dad because it doesn't matter what he has faced, he has held his integrity to this day. And it doesn't matter who stabbed him in the back. It doesn't matter who threw his name in the dirt. It doesn't matter who tried to take him down. It doesn't matter who tried to paint him in a bad light. It doesn't matter if he didn't receive love from his own loved ones. It doesn't matter if he was made fun of, picked on, anything like that. He held his integrity to this very day, and I got mad respect for that. Man to man, I got mad. And I say to Dad all the time, I'm not telling you this as your son, I'm telling this as a fellow man. I got mad respect for you not dropping your integrity when you had every reason to just grab some people and just literally knock them the fuck out. So yeah, straight out.
Come,
Facts or what?
it's guys. We're not gangsters. Stop talking like that.
No, seriously, but
Matt, don't talk like that.
straight up, but
Yeah, you're 100% right. 100% right. And look, Dad has always been the greatest man that I know. All right. I'll sway a little bit differently with who my greatest role model is, purely because of what they did and the circumstances that they were in at the time. And that's our great-grandparents and our grandparents. They came from a war-torn country on a boat, not sure where they was going to go to. They were blessed enough to land in Australia. We got some family that landed in South Africa. Some family that landed in New Zealand.
Mexico.
Right? I wish I knew they had the hotel in Cancun when I was there.
Badly.
Anyway, but yeah, so they're my role models. And I make posts about them all the time. And,
Yeah.
you know, people love it and comment on it. But it's really important to me that people know that I have this easier life because of the struggle that they went through. And then when I get upset or stressed or angry about things not going my way, I think about what they had compared to what we have. And it's a reminder to not be so ungrateful, right? Because there's so much to be grateful for.
Yeah.
So much. Right? Irrespective of what people think about the leadership of this country with our politicians, we do live in the best country in the world.
That is
Right?
true.
And the reason why we get so upset with our politicians is because they're trying to ruin the best country in the world.
That is very
to
true.
live in, right?
That's very true.
Anyway, that's a different topic. But the point is, my grandparents, my great-grandparents, I was blessed enough to know one of them, right? And there's photos of her and I. I'm so blessed that my son's got a great-grandmother in his life too. I'm so happy about that. But what they went through and the stories that our grandmother tells us, absolutely amazing stories, man. And it puts it into perspective. So, yeah, they're my greatest role models. I got asked a question when I was getting interviewed to be a school captain. And they asked me, who's your greatest role models? And I said, my grandparents and my great-grandparents. And they looked at me like, you know, like not your mom, not your dad. I said, no, my grandparents and my great-grandparents. And I said, why? And I said, because of everything that they've gone through. And I was very aware of what they go through. Like, our grandmother used to talk to me like an adult when I was a teenager, right? And even younger. So she really helped me grow up in that sense. So to listen to their stories, to know their stories, to kind of, I've been around for some of the struggles that they've been through and witnessed it. They're the most amazing role models that I could ever think of, right? Our grandmother in particular has been the reason why our dad is the way that he is, right? Even our grandfather to an extent. He taught dad what not to do, in a lot of ways.
True.
Right?
Very true.
So, yeah, they're mine. And they'll always be mine. I have a very strong, love our parents. You know how much I love our parents. But I have a very, very strong connection, relationship with our grandparents and our great-grandmother when she was alive. And they really impacted my life in a huge way. And I still do. I think about them every day. So, yeah, that's us for this episode. This was a long one. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Again, don't forget, like and subscribe to us on YouTube and Spotify. Thank you.